Hi guys, welcome to another episode of On Ghetto Stories. It's your girl Agnes, but some of you guys know me as Agnesita. Stay tuned. Happy new month to everyone out there. I'm so excited because you know what? It's my birthday. It's my birthday month. It's my birthday. It's my birthday month. Hey. Yes, it's my birthday month. I mean, February is the month to be. If you guys know your girl, you know I'm an Aquarius. What a sign. So, if you know me, you know me. And anyways, just in case you're trying to plan something for me, well, my birthday's on the 15th. May I just slide that right in there? anyways, I really just hope that before that date, restrictions would be a bit less strict than normal. So, anyways, hoping for the best, finger crossed. Okay, now that that is done, let's move right into the episode conversation topic of today. Well, we're going to be talking, or rather, I'm going to be talking about all things modeling. I don't know if this segment is going to cover it all, but I really want to try to cover everything, if not more, because I've got a lot of questions about, how to go into modeling, how, so many questions that I'm just like, you know what? I'm tired of just DMing every single person right back. So I figured why not just do a whole podcast about it? And I can always just refer people to go back and listen and, just take notes. So if this segment doesn't cover it all, best rest be assured I'm going to make a part two. So it could be divided into two segments based on how long or short this current episode is going to be. So, first, I'm going to go into some questions that a lot of people have asked me just personally for myself, and some that I also figured I'll talk about alongs the way. And later on, after all this answering questions, then I'll go into how to get started in the modeling world if you're an amateur. All right, then. So, first and foremost, what is a model? Well, in my opinion, I feel like obviously a model is someone that's employed to basically display out a clothing. It could be on stage, photographed, on television, internet, etc. You know how a model, a different kind of model, it's like a three-dimensional representation of a proposed structure, of course, of a rather more much more smaller scale than the original one. So that's kind of the same thing with modeling. So obviously smaller, it means you have to be petite. Obviously now everything is a bit semantics. Nowadays we have models of different types, shapes and forms and colors. Okay, yes. So I'm glad about that part. But as I emphasized on, a model is someone that's employed, so a professional model. Because obviously, I mean, I can obviously say we're all models in our own right. Do not get me wrong. Yes, we can be models in our own right, but an actual definition of a model, a professional model, anyways, is if you're being paid, because a lot of people throw out the word modeling here and there, like I'm a model, she's a model, but don't let us get carried away now. Like, there's some models that are professional and they're just some models, I would say. Yeah, I mean, we have Instagram models nowadays, and some Instagram models are actually getting paid too, you know what I mean? So but it's not the same as being a fashion models, just because fashion models, they need to stick to a lot of diet stuff, some weight, so many things that I'm going to share later on. Question someone asked me on my DM, because I took a lot of screenshots and compiled the questions. So I'm just gonna be saying all in no particular order. Someone asked me that, what does modeling mean to me? Is it my hobby? Is it a hustle? Is it my passion? And honestly, the best way to answer this is, it's all of the three. It's all three in one. Honestly, it's all of the above. I feel like, I've been in that part where I was hustling. I mean, I still feel like I'm still hustling now. Like, modeling, it really varies. So we're all hustlers at the end of the day, because it's not a 9 to 5 job of every day, which I'm gonna break down to you guys later on. But at the same time, I feel like it's a passionate job for me, because it's not something that I'm easily going to let go. It's something that I really truly enjoy, love doing, which could also be like my hobby. But obviously, it's not a hobby because I get paid for it at the same time. But in the beginning of my career, okay, I was doing it just as a hobby, and it kind of led into professional settings. So yeah, it's all of the above. Person asked me that, what is the one thing people misconstrued about modeling? Honestly, people misconstrued a lot of things about modeling. um I don't know, I feel like I'm going to say two things. I don't know, or if I should stick to just that question in particular. But one thing people misconstrued about modeling is that you I don't know how to say that it's so easy, like you're just a model, like, you have the glitz and glam, you're being catered for, like you're such a delicate, I don't know, flowers, like, it's just an easy job. That's what people say, because sometimes when you say I'm a model, people don't even some people do not even respect that choice of words, saying, oh, you don't have a job compared to we that we work 9 to 5, or maybe part-time or whatever, that you don't have a job compared to we entrepreneurs, or corporate workers. And that's not true, because models do work a lot. Models, they work on themselves to keep their shape in check. That's something not a lot of people, are required to do. Yes, you can do it out of choice if you choose to, but some models have no choice. You just have to keep a certain figure, a certain measurement, a certain weight. And that's that's really hard, when you're growing and you're evolving, and your metabolisms are changing, and life in general, like life hits you, stress and so many other things. So that in itself, and also, yes, we have the glitz and glam on stage, but things we do to get on stage and behind scenes, like, trust me, if you wear my shoes in a day, which is so funny, because back in Sweden, when I started modeling, a lot of my friends, they just, they thought they just wanted to join, right? And then for me, I'm all for bringing my friends along if they want to. But I did set a whole one day with two of my friends at that time, but for different reasons. And one of them, after a whole day, she texted me, "Oh no, girl, this is not for me. This is definitely for you." Like, girl, I had to be in those heels for hours. I'm like, girl, what did you think you were gonna do? Like, she was like, those poses, oh my god, like, yes, they're looking nice, on the screen afterwards, when they're editing it. But right there, right then, you need to hold the pose for a very, very long time, and in some, may I say, uncomfortable heels, uncomfortable shoes, sometimes uncomfortable wear. Not everybody are comfortable in a certain outfit. May I remind you guys, like, there are some clothes that, fit perfectly to some people. And me as a person, I like some clothes, and there's some clothes that just, they match perfectly. And others, you're trying to feel comfortable, confident in them, they're just not your style. So imagine if you're a model and you're given some certain clothes that you're not even used to wearing or comfortable. You have to wear it no matter what, because it's your job. You're a model, so you have to model it to the best of your not even to the best of your capability, may I say, to the best of the client's capability, the expectations, what they expect of that outfit in itself. So it's tough sometimes. So I'm just gonna leave it right there. I'm gonna leave it right at that and move on to the next question. The question that I was being asked is, what do you do? What is the one thing you do aside from modeling? And well, I'll say before actually, because right now currently I'm just more so working on a more separate business project. But before, I used to have a side job. May I remind you guys, yes, not all models are just, modeling and having nothing to sustain themselves to fall back on. So, I was, working with Amazon at the time. And also, prior to that as well, I was, doing my master's, my bachelor on the side. So, there was a lot of things I was doing on the side, guys. And also right now, obviously, even though I'm working on some project, I still, do some influencing as well, and some TikToks for some companies. So yes, 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 yes. You need to have some things to do on the side as well. And some of my friends, by the way, too, they work. I don't know how they balance it, but it's really hard. Some of them even work 9 to 5 jobs, but it depends what level you are as well as a model, because if your modeling job isn't giving you enough bread, and what I mean by bread is enough money to pay your bills, then you need to look into other avenues of incoming flow of money, because you do not want to get stranded, because at the end of the day, modeling is a form of artistry, it's a form of art. And honestly, everyone in the whole art stuff, art form, art expression, they do struggle or hustle, to kind of make it. It's like you wanting to be a singer or a star. Not everyone can make it. Not everyone can be a supermodel, you know what I mean? So not everyone can be Beyonce at the same time. So you need to, do some things on the side, just to keep you balanced, keep you going, keep you wanting to be more motivated to make your dreams, your goals, your passionate, job or career come to life. So yeah. Question is, in the modeling industry, what is the one thing you need to know and be prepared for? Hmm. Honestly, the best way to answer that is you don't, honestly, till you're in the situation. Um, you need to, and honestly, okay, maybe the best answer I could give would be to know that not all models are perfect, and you shouldn't be too hard on yourself. I mean, a lot of agents, and clients, they're not going to tell you this, like, oh my god, take it easy, blah blah blah. No, no one cares about your well-being, like your mental state of mind. You need to figure out a way to be able to have your own self check, your mental check. You need to be able not to get so deep into the whole modeling industry that you forget completely who you are as a person. So that would actually be my answer, is to know that no models are perfect, because trust me, in one market you could be the perfect model, and in another market you could be the not so perfect models. Honestly, what am I even saying? Trust me, in any market you're not even the perfect model. You can be even too big in one market, and in another market you're too small. Like, Mangaro's story, honestly, to back that up, was, I remember one time I went to Milan and they told me I was too fat. Guys, all of you guys know me. If you see my Instagram and everything, you know how skinny I am. But that's besides the point, because within modeling, it's different. We do measuring to know how skinny you are or not. But regardless, I was really slim back then, and slim. So, and I was younger even back then, so I was even slimmer. But the lady told me that you're too, not like you're too fat. She didn't just say it blatantly. She was actually still nice, because trust me, not all agents are even nice. Some people will just blatantly tell you. And if you're the kind of person that words gets to you quickly, oh my goodness, that will damage you for life. And you could even turn into bulimic or anorexia. So that's a whole nother subject for another time. But anyway, she told me, well, it would be nice if you could lose some weight. This was exactly how she put it. And, I didn't want to tell her right then that, sorry, man, no way. But in my head, I was like, oh, hell no. But as I, was telling her in passing, I was like, okay, I'll think about it. I'm going to work towards it. Like, that's what I just said, just to, be politically, professionally, or diplomatically correct. But in my head, I was like, what in the world? No way. I would not, no, that was just too hard for me back then. And also, fast forward to a few years back again, after that, I was in Turkey and also in other places. They were like, oh, wow, you're a bit too skinny or bony, like you should eat a bit more. So that's just to tell you that models do not fit into a size fit all at the end of the day. We might be too big for one market and at the same time too skinny for another market. So at the end of the day, my advice is just be you. The right client or the right market is going to accept you. So yes, let's move on to the next question, which is a model, what would you have become? So the person asked me that question. And honestly, well, I have my master's in international business. So I feel like I would have gone into the corporate world, or rather, yeah, I probably would have done that, or, join my family's business, as they would really like me to do that. So that would have been option one. Or the second option, honestly, would be me actually going back to study psychology, as I really, really like psychology. So I would have also gone into that because a lot of my friends says I'm an unlicensed psychologist. So I could have honestly gone that route as well. But I feel like that would take a lot of years studying. So honestly, I would just say I would go into business straight. I would just go into business world. So yeah, it's not nothing special or anything, but that would have been it. But I know that it would still be boring for me in a way. That's why now that I'm modeling, I want to incorporate that as something on the side, so it goes hand in hand. Because if you're a model, I feel like everybody can use business at some point in their life. So that's what I would honestly like to do. But let's say, I wasn't a model. I feel like even though I would be doing a corporate business, my personality is just so large and big that I probably would have gone into some entertaining industry or entertainment form. It could be acting or I don't know, dancing. Now my dance is rusty, my singing is rusty as hell. So probably acting or, some character, expression way. So yeah, that's the best way I could answer that question. If I have kids, would you let he or she be a model? Hmm, that's a tough one. I don't know. Honestly, I feel like first, my first reply really would want to be like, hell no. And that's because I know what the modeling industry can do to you, honestly, and it's really it's tough for your mental state if you're not a strong person, so I'm really, really proud of myself that I have a really I've grounded myself, even within my religion, within my principles and my morals. So that's why I'm grounded and I'm forever grateful. But I feel like as this generation we grow and we're evolving, so many things are changing that for you to find that ground stability, it's really hard because you can really fall into peer pressure. And sometimes it's hard. There's so many immature people, not that they choose to be, but it's just how they're raised. And, they don't know right from wrong in a sense, or they later know right or wrong, but, they learn their lesson the hard way. And I wouldn't want my kids to go through that, because sometimes you could be scarred or you could be traumatized, and some experiences can really be painful. And with modeling, there is the good side and the ugly side. So honestly, I wouldn't want them to go through that. So that's just that, because I want to protect my babies at the end of the day, and I know what it is like going in there. I have so many colleagues heard stories, real life stories, and there's some things that I could have also fall trap into myself, but thank God, I knew better. So that's just to say. But on the other end, I want to say yes, I will let them do it, because also growing up, my parents were a bit against me modeling. They still have their doubts and they're still on the fence even now, because obviously it's not making them, African parents, we're a lot of people, if African parents, you need to bring the fat big check home, and if you're not doing that, you're not doing anything right in front of them. So that's to say they're a bit on the fence of that, like modeling, what is that? They're a bit more open-minded compared to some other African parents, because to some other African parents, modeling for them, they just equate it to you prostitution, or oh, are you an escort? What is that? Like they think of it as something very immoral as well, if you're also from a very religious background. So not a lot of parents are even open to even the idea of modeling in the first place. Well, I'm lucky because my parents got there. It took a while, but they got there, but still they're still on the fence, like, well, you should do something else, you should do something big, you know what I mean? So growing up, I know that I really had to just fight that fight just to, have my own say, and, do what I really wanted to do and what really made me happy. But I mean, not to say that they're not supportive. They're very, very supportive, and I'm super happy. And I know of some models that they really had a hard time. They didn't even have any support, any backbone, and that's really hard. So that to say that I know how it is. So I feel like knowing that as a kid growing up, I wouldn't want, my kids to have to so much struggle so hard for them, to say, Mom, this is really what I want to do. Stop swaying me away, or discouraging me, or you know what I mean. So I really want to also be supportive for them, but I'll just try to find a balance between both. So I would guide them no matter what, since anyways I know what it's like. So maybe I would definitely let them go, but at a certain age, with the right mentor guidance, hell, I will be their mentor, if not their manager. But I don't know, with the whole momager thing, I don't want to be like mama bear. But yeah, it really depends. Yeah, it honestly depends. But I think the next question someone asked me is, what is the one thing I love about modeling, and what is the one thing that I totally despise and hate about modeling? And I'll say, let's go on a quick break and let's come back before I answer this, because baby, you guys are giving me a lot of questions to answer, but I'm gonna try to answer all of them like I promised. So catch you guys after the break. So, in case you don't know me, I'm a cloth hoarder. This means buying clothes, keeping clothes, and buying more clothes, with the old clothes being in the closet. Yes, I admit it's a really bad habit, because it really makes my closet cluttered and it gives little to no space. But what I've done now is I found an application through a friend called vinted.pl, vinted.pl, as I'm based in Warsaw, Poland. So I upload all my clothes that I don't wear, that I've worn once, twice, or just a few times. And whoever is interested can just tap and buy. You can search my name by typing Agnesita, SST. See you guys. Welcome back, guys. So the question that was asked earlier that I didn't answer before the break was, what is the one thing that I love and hate about modeling? And what I really love about modeling is me being able to do what I do with such humility and gratefulness, and the fact that, so like sometimes I don't recognize myself after, the production is out. Not saying like, not in the terms of Photoshop or whatever, but in the sense that when the artistry comes to life, you're it fills me with so much joy that wow, I was able to actually portray what we had set out to do, if not more. So that I like in itself, the expression, the how the whole artistry transfers in, in a whole picture or emotion, whichever, project we're doing at that point in time. So that's actually the best part about modeling, because sometimes when I see the product and it looks so nice and fancy or whatever, I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, I remember when I was doing this beauty shot, let's say, for example, that I was wearing a whole socks, or I was wearing a whole flip flops, or, I was not wearing pants. But, so sometimes I do keep a lot of behind the stage memories, so that when I look back on them, I just laugh, but it fills me with so much joy. And the fact that I'm being able to have connections and contact with a lot of people from different walks of life. So that's actually would be what I really mostly appreciate about modeling. And on the other side, really what I honestly don't like about modeling is just the fact that me being a black model, in my own perspective, like it's really hard in the industry, period, like yes, now it's I feel like the shift is changing a bit now, but now compared to 5 years back when I started over, oh my goodness, it was tough. And I can also imagine that people who have started modeling even before me and years back, it was even more tougher for them. So it just goes to show how level of tediousness and struggle, and how much harder black people need to work. A lot of people always say, yeah, for you as a black model, for example, maybe in Poland, because we don't have a lot of black models, they say, well, it must be so easy for you to get jobs. And I'm like, not really. No, it still is the same, because not a lot of people want to, market their products on a black model, because they just think black people don't buy their products, which is just absurd, because as much as, Caucasian people are buyers in the market, so are black people and people of color and brown people and Latino people and Asia people are also, contributing to the economic and welfare of this nation in general. So that doesn't make sense. And sometimes, and now we have a lot of, black models too, which I'm super super happy for, because it's also weird when you're the only black model everywhere. But also now that, I remember back in the day, we used to be about 2 3 models, and they would just compare both of us. They just assume we are alike, we look alike. So for them to have, say, 2 black models in a fashion show, oh my goodness, that's an abomination for them, because it's too much. It's too much attention. It's like, no, one is enough, because anyways, it was always like that. Like, we already got 1 black model, so it's enough, we don't need another one. And I'm like, wait, out of 20 models, you have 18, white models, and you're saying 1 black models is enough? Like, that's just crazy. So yeah, so that's honestly the other part, because it's not as easier as, other race. So it's hard in general, but that's what I kind of know. I kind of knew going into the industry. I mean, I didn't know it that length in the beginning, but as I grew into it, I was like, wow, okay, this is what I have to face, and this is what I have to do, but I'm ready to do it. I'm ready to put in as much, twice, triple work as it's needed. So yeah. Next question is actually very crucial, because I had to actually sit back on this to kind of know how to answer this question. But basically, it says, in order for you to be considered a model, must you have or must you be in an agency, must you have been in a TV show prior to, like must you have done a pageantry show or competition show, something of that sort. Must you have gone on a contract, which later on I would tell you guys what going on contract means. But yes and no, but for the most part, no. Honestly, for you to be a model, you just need to, okay, there are some models that are striving well off of being a freelancer model, but it's maybe the answer is no, but not, but to different question, because right here it says, must you be in an agency, which is kind of yes, in order to be considered a model, maybe in the beginning, because there's no way, if you're an amateur, there's no way you're going to know the whole industry in itself. And even for some models, which in their case no, but even I'm not sure, if you're starting beginning, you need an agency or an agent, someone to guide you, and how to get some jobs, because if you do not know the market, then how are you going to approach the market? So I would say for sure no. But then again, once you've become a model and later on you decide to be a freelancer, then no, you can still be considered a model without having an agency or without you having an agent, because at this point you're kind of well known in the agency. A lot of people have direct access to you, and they know who you are, so it's easier to just book you directly. So in this case, you don't need an agency or an agent to get you through into the market, because you are already in the market, you are the market, you are well known in the market. So for you, in this sense, it wouldn't be needed. But if you're a beginner, for sure you really definitely need that, so to push you out there. And even so, there's some models that are freelancers, but sometimes if you have the connect, yes, you can easily be booked. If you have a connect to a designer, yes, you can be put into the shows. There's some models that they were not even models, but they're really friends to the designers, and yeah, they were put in the shows, or maybe celebrities, for example. But let's say there's some models that are very, very they're very organized in a way, so a lot of those shows, they need only models within agencies, because for some of them it signifies stability, it signifies they're going to show up, because if they don't show up, the agency is going to have to pay for the penalty of the model, which in turn the agency is going to find the model in itself. So but anyways, it just shows that a lot of things are factual checked, and are more stability and assurance for the client. So most of the jobs, they always require people in the agency, and if you do not have access to the agency database or something, you're not going to know when there's some certain job offers out there, or the wanted models or whatever. You won't know any of this. So yeah, that's that. But to the second question, you do not need to go on contract to be considered a model. There are a lot of models that are doing perfectly fine in their local area. They don't need to go abroad. And going on contract basically means that you are going to another country, and you're for a few months, sometimes weeks, sometimes years, but it depends. They renew the contract according to how well you're doing, and etc. So you could go to China, for example, for between maybe a month to 6 months, and that will be your contract, because you're setting this contract within your agency in the local country, and a new agency abroad, which will theoretically they will act as your now agency once you're over abroad in another country. So they will be as your agency abroad. But once the contract is over, then they're technically not your agent anymore. Once you're back to your national country, or your base, then your mother agency, which is kind of like your local agency, your first agent, they continue and they resume their work as your agency. So that's what contract means. But technically, you don't have to. You can be a model without going on contract, because quite speaking, going on contracts is very, very it's tedious. It's very hard job. Okay, some people, they're very young, they want to experience life, so they'll prefer to go on contract and stuff like this. But other people maybe say have family, or they have spouse and stuff like this, and they don't want to seem a bit unstable in a way. I went on contract, but honestly, oh my goodness, I decided not again. No more, no more, no mas. Like, yes, it was nice for me to experience how it was working abroad, and mingling with other models, living in the models apartment, etc., like the ups and down, oh my goodness. But after that, I was like, no, no more. I honestly like I want a stable life. I'm a bit grown. I'm not 17, 18 anymore. I can't be doing like moving from one place to another. Like, it just seems very very, I don't even know how to call it. These people that they move from one country to another country. I forgot what they're called, but yeah, I was like, no way, I do not want this life. I want a sense of stability at some point. So yeah, so you don't have to be considered a model I mean, you can be considered a model if you do not go to a contract, just so you know. So yeah, don't be hell bent on going on a contract just so you know to be considered one. But if you want to do it just because you want to experience and have fun, and and just experience life for yourself, then do it. But don't do it just because, oh, you want to have that check, like now I'm officially considered as a model. No, you still are a model if you're working in your local country and you're getting paid. So that's that. And the last part is could you be considered a model if you aren't on TV shows, like competitional shows, like pageantry shows, top model shows of the country you're in? And the answer is yes, you can still be considered a model if you're not on the shows, period. Like, honestly, models and pageantry is even different world. But I think sometimes models, especially like myself, I just went into the pageantry world just to a bit get out of my modeling stiff you know routine lifestyle. I wanted to try something new. It was kind of it was for fun. I just wanted to have a little bit of some light hearted life for a while. I didn't want just strict serious stuff. I just wanted to have some fun. That was the whole point of pageantry stuff. Of course, with some pageantry stuff, you could be also well known. Like, obviously, it's going to put you out there, especially if you're on top models of any country you're in. Yes, that really skyrockets your career even better. But I've also heard that in some people's cases, it dims their career. It depends though, because for myself, I was approached to go on, top model, but especially in Poland, but I chose not to because I was already known before this, and I wasn't an amateur. So a lot of these competition shows, it's good when you're an amateur. If I will be the model I am right now and I'll be given a pageantry to go into, I wouldn't go because it's I don't know, people would just know that that's not me, that's not what I represent. By that time, it was the beginning of my modeling career. So at that point, it's not like you have so much more to lose. It's just, I mean, what do you have to lose? You can just try it. If you like it, yeah, if you don't. But now, if you have some kind of brand and stuff, you want to protect it, and every step you make will be crucial to it. So with top models, I feel like, yes, if you're an amateur, yes, it's gonna help you, like, especially with social media, it's gonna help you with followers as a lot, like that part. At some point I was considering that, but I was like, you know what, I don't want to do that to myself. Like, no, because also I know what people go through and things like that. And if you're well known and you go into shows like that as well, I've heard, especially with, Top Model Americas, as I've heard from, a lot of contestants, that sometimes it dims them because they just assume that they're getting a lot of, jobs. So therefore, they do not book them. So that in itself, it's kind of like you have the stigma. So it's also not good. But in general, I feel like it's good if you try it, but it depends on what stage of your modeling career you are in. So yeah, anyways, that's my opinion on that. But you can be a model without doing any of the above. Honestly, it really depends how what stage of life you are in your modeling career. If you have a brand, if you have a business, what you're trying to achieve. If you want a larger, bigger social media platform, if you want to market your business out there in a way, if you want to get seen, if you want to be famous. Like, there's so many goals, and reasons why people do something that they do. So if you know what it is, then yes, you can opt for it. Anyways, the next question is, who are my top three models that I look up to? So in essence, who are my role models? Literally. But obviously, I have three top models, but technically two, but the third one, yes, I'm like okay here and there. But the first model that I really love is Tyra Banks. And Tyra Banks, because I love her business aspect as much as her modeling. So the way she kind of balances both together, it's something that I aspire for, because she studies business, and now she has a lot of products brands within this, and she went to business school even while she was a model. So I really like this part, and this is something I loved, because I love education as much as I love modeling as well. And there's some models that they dropped out of school, or they just didn't study, they just didn't want to study, period. So everyone is different, but I looked up to Tyra Bank back then, because as I was in high school, I saw she had this show, and she used to be a model before. And for me, I kind of was like, yeah, I want to be a model, but I don't think I'll be a model forever. And I want to have a business idea to kind of fall back on. And I just like her smartness, period, and her body positivity. Of course, it's a bit semantic, but I feel like now she's a lot better. But everybody deserves a chance, and everybody evolves as they grow. So my second role model is obviously no other name than the Naomi Campbell. I really, really, really love Naomi Campbell, just because, okay, like for her walks, like in the beginning, that was like it for me. Like, her walk was something I strive to. And I used to be so flattered. It flattered me so much. Like, that's the best compliment people would give me back then. Like, oh, the Naomi Campbell. You know how people, be calling you Rihanna or Beyonce, whoever you look like. But back then, people be like, oh, Naomi Campbell. And I would giggle so much, like, obviously, no, I'm not Naomi Campbell, but it was really nice, because I was like, oh my God, but I love Naomi. Like, oh, so, and, I used to have a straight hair back then. So, yeah, that was just it. And I've been trying to, study her walk, but I just realized that's her signature work, and ain't nobody gonna come close to it. Yeah, you can try to come close to it, but you will never have the walk. So, that for me, it's her. And also the fact that now she kind of came back again into the modeling, because I feel like for a while she took a break, and then later, boom, she came back on stage. Her body is still banging at in her 40s. And the fact that she's exploring now, her roots. She's going back to so many countries in Africa. She's being vocal, when it comes to some political stands, with modeling and stuff. She's having some model back, if they're being bashed or whatever. She's just basically standing for what's right. So I really, 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 really love that about her. So I'm Team Naomi. Like, I love her. She's the mother, you know. I call her that mother, you know. So yes. Third, but not the least, but I'm just gonna keep it to three, obviously as the question suggested. But third is just Alec work. Like yes, she works. Like she like her skin just wow. I'm just in awe of her skin, of how she carries herself, and yeah, that's I just I can only just worship at her feet, honestly, guys. So for me, these are the top three models that I really look up to. Like these are the models that I can consider the supermodels. Like they are the legend. They are the OGs. Like the models, you know. So yeah, period. Like that's for me my top three role models. Models killing it in the game right now. Honestly, there are a lot of top three models, but the models that I really love, that I follow, that I'm like rooting for, they're okay. First is just Adut, okay? Like that babe, wow, she's a whole epitome of a model. Like, yes, she is killing it. Like her skin, it's to die for. So, and the fact that she was discovered as at an early age, back in Australia, and as a refugee, that's just very, very, yeah, that's very inspiring. So I root for her, and I love her success and how humble she is throughout her whole career. So yeah, I love her. Next on the list is Mayowa Nicholas, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Mayowa Nicholas, she is amazing. Like I really love her. I love her feature. Like I mean, she's Nigerian as well. So yes, obviously, I don't think I'm biased based off of our Nigerian root, but I think she's really a hardworking model. She's a very nice model. Like yes, she's DM me back on a few occasions, and I'm just like, oh, such a beautiful soul you are. So yes, I follow her career, her journey, and the fact that she made it all the way from Nigeria, fast forward international, killing it in like this big huge brand names. It's just really, really, really inspiring. So yeah, and last on the list, like there are so many models, honestly, that I could mention, and my friends also are killing it too. Like I root for all my friends out there. Like yes, keep killing it, y'all. Like because it's not easy, guys. It's not an easy job. It's really like people struggling, doing what they really do at all cost, and they're trying to make it in this world. So big ups to them. But the last person on the list, honestly, I'm just gonna say, I'm just gonna say it again, guys. Naomi, okay, Naomi, because she came back again to the game. She's killing it at the age of 40 plus, and the fact that she's like, guys, have you seen her body? Like she is the epitome of a supermodel, and the fact that she's killing it on every stage, time and time and time again. Who I can only, aspire to be half of what she is when I'm, in my 40s. So I respect her. I take my hats off to her. So yes, she's my top three model, like killing it in the game right now. So on that note, guys, I feel like I've been talking and talking and talking, and I know you guys are like, oh my gosh, so where's the part of how to start off as a model, how to go about it in the modeling industry? Guys, I think we should have a second part to this to this topic, because it's a really, really long one. So I will say join me on next episode. I'm gonna dive right into it on how to go about it, what you need to do, what are the steps you need to do, what you need to look out for, and some little things you need to just know before also you go into modeling as a whole. So guys, join me on next episode on Ghetto Stories, and I'm just gonna lay it all out there for y'all. So it's your girl Agnes, and I'll catch you guys on the next segment. Love you guys. Thank you guys for listening and staying tuned till now. If you like this episode, or you would like me to talk about something else in my next episode, or you have questions, comments, anything, just DM me on my Instagram account, Agnesita, AGNESSITTA, and I'll get back to you guys. It's your girl Agnes on Ghetto Stories.